Hello designers and welcome back to another Affinity Designer tutorial. Today I'll be showing you how to create styles with repeating patterns. We'll start by learning about the styles panel. Then we will create a repeating pattern, and with that we will create our style so that we can easily apply it to any future design. Okay, let's jump right in. Okay, we're back in Affinity Designer, and before we get to the patterns, I want to talk about the styles panel. So where is that? Well, over on the right hand side it says styles there in a little tab. If you don't see that, head up to View, Studio, and Styles there. Click on that and it will pop up somewhere over here. So the Styles panel basically allows you to apply a pre-designed style to your content, whether it's this square or a squiggly line or whatever. Okay, what do styles look like? Well, they're over on the right-hand side. These are default to Affinity Designer, so they just come with the program. And if you select an object like this square over here, and I just click on one of them, Frost, you can see it's applied a style to it. So it's got a bit of noise in there. I can see it's a little bit 3D, and it's got this line around it, a stroke. So lots of things included, and I can just cycle through all of these different styles, which is all well and good. But if none of these are to your liking, there's good news, you can create your own style. So how do we create our own collection? So we can create our own styles collection by going up here near the burger menu on the right hand side and clicking add new category. Click on that, it says unnamed. We want to name it. So click back on the burger, press rename category. This one we'll call basic styles. So I have my boring gray square selected, and what we're going to do, we're going to start playing around with it and give it a look. I'm going to grab the fill tool on the left hand side, shortcut is G. I'm just going to click and drag down and choose a couple of different colors. Just make it look really funky. Okay, now I want to add a stroke to it. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up the width a little bit. I'll just make it black for now. It doesn't have to look great. And also I want to add an effect to it as well. So clicking back on layer and click effects. And you can add any of these on there, but I'll just add an inner shadow. There we go, the inner shadow is in there, and I think that's enough for now. So how do we create this style so it adds to our empty collection? There's two ways of doing this. You can right click on the selected item and go down, and then it says create style. You can click on that and it will add it to your styles collection. Or you can do it another way. Head over to the Styles tab, click on the burger menu, and then you just click on Add Style from Selection. So I'll click it, and you can see we now have Style 1. If you right click on that, you can rename it or delete it if it's really rubbish. So let's apply it to our boring heart. So I've got it selected, I click on Style 1, and it's applied it just like that. And let's say if you didn't like that style and you wanted to add more to it, well, let's just add some noise to it, shall we? So up here, it says noise. I'll just drag that out and it's adding more noise to it. And let's say, yes, I'm happy now. Again, you can add another iteration. So we've got style 1 up there. We can just right click. This time we'll do it this way. Create style. And it's added it over there as style 2. So now we'll go over to our circle and just click on style 2, and you can see it has the noise with it. So you can make lots of iterations of this design, this style, I should say. Now that we've covered a little bit of the styles panel, what we actually want to do is create a pattern and stick it in one of those styles. I'm just going to show you the quick and easy way. If you are interested in creating repeating patterns, I've made 2 in-depth tutorials and I'll leave the links in the description below. Okay, this is a super simple one. I've got a square and I've got the shape I made earlier. My snapping is turned on, by the way. Here are my settings. So I'm just going to click and drag this till it snaps into place in the center. And then I'm going to duplicate that, Command J to duplicate, and drag that up to the top left-hand corner. And now I'm going to keep my finger on Shift and Command, and I'm just going to drag it out. That's duplicated it and snapped into that corner. By the way, when I hold down Shift, that basically means I'm dragging it in a straight line so it doesn't deviate. Okay, so now select the other one whilst holding Shift. So they're both selected, and we'll do the same again. Command and Shift and drag down till it snaps into place. There we go. By the way, I'm using a Mac, so all the keyboard shortcuts are for Mac. For Windows, not much different, but I'll leave a link in the description also. Okay, go to the Layers panel, select all of your twirly shapes and drag down and to the right, and that will clip them inside of that square. Okay, just drag that off to the side. We're going to make 2 copies, by the way. So Command J and click and drag that to the side. So we're exporting this one as a JPEG and this one as a PNG. PNGs allow us to have like transparent properties. So I'm just showing you all the variations you could export them at. So with this one selected, go up to color and there's our fill. Just click on the white circle with a red line through it, and that's got rid of our fill, meaning that's now transparent. Let's get exporting. So select the first one on the left, go up to File, Export, select JPEG, and then we go down to Selection Only. For the area, this is quite a small one. It's 570 pixels. If you're working with like a bigger document or it needs to go on a wall or something, you export at a bigger size. I'm just going to click this last one. Don't export layers hidden by export persona. And I'm going to click export. Now I'm going to choose the desktop for here and I'll just call this JPEG. There we go. It's called JPEG twice there, and press save. Now I'll head over to our other one and click on File, Export. I'll choose PNG. I'll go to Selection Only, and same again, don't export layers by hidden persona. And this one I'll call PNG, so they're both very obvious. Okay, now that we've done that, let's select both of these and just drag them off into the corner. Okay, so from this point, I'm just going to grab any shape. I'll just grab another square. Just give it a color, that will do. Now that that's selected, go over to the fill tool on the left hand side, shortcut is G, click on that, and up here it says type, solid. What we want to do is go down to bitmap. Click on bitmap and it will open up your files. So on our desktop, we're going to choose JPEG and click open. Now we're presented with these handles here. If I click and drag in one of these handles, it's repeating. So that repeating pattern worked well. There's a few other things you can do here. If you hold shift and drag around, it goes in 45-degree increments. If you click Ctrl, you can see there's a couple of arrows there. You see you can squish it that way, and you can do it the same the other way as well. But for now, I'm just going to click and drag that in a little bit. So remember, this is the JPEG version. What can we do with this? Well, let's have a look. If you go up to the color tab here, you can see the fill is the squiggly line in there. So we can't change the background because the background's kind of been baked into the whole JPEG. It's got no transparent properties, but we can add a stroke. So if you go up to stroke, we can add that in there. Okay, press Command Z to go back. We can also add layer effects in there as well. You can stick the inner shadow in there. You can see that's kind of working. Okay, take that off. Also, there's another trick. If you go up to the appearance panel up here, if you don't see this, by the way, it's the same way again. View, Studio, Appearance, click on that and it will appear somewhere over there. Okay, so on appearance, you can actually add a fill there. So let's go ahead and do that. So it's added it up there above our shapes layer, this whole section. So if I click on it and let's choose a color, let's say like red, you can see we can't see anything anymore. But if I click that layer and drag it underneath, then that red is completely hidden. So what you can do, drag it above again, and the fill style is on normal right now. Click on that and you can cycle through all of these different styles and maybe you see something you like from there. But for now, we're going to get rid of that. So right click on it, press delete, and what we will do is just add a layer effects in there. We'll add the inner shadow and we'll bring it up slightly and we'll click on offset as well. Something like that. Okay, press close. One thing I should mention, when you click on inner shadow or something like that, just click on scale with object, because if you're going to make it bigger or smaller, it will change unless you click this one. So click on that and press close. Okay, we're ready to make a style from this. So let's create a new category. Head on over to our styles panel. And now we'll click on the burger menu and click on add new category. And then I'm going to rename it. It's going to be called tutorial styles and press return. And now we just have to add style from selection. And there it is, it's working. I'm going to go ahead and get a circle, drag that out. When I click on style 1, it has the drop shadow in there and it's working. So that's great. For now though, just get rid of that and we will move this off to the side. Let's go and grab our PNG. So again, I'm going to grab a square, click on stroke, get rid of that. I'll just make it some gray color for now. Okay, it's selected and I'm going to click on fill tool, go up to type, bitmap. It will open up and we select our PNG. And click open. Again, the handles are there. I'll just click and drag that in. Maybe I'll put it this way this time. So what can we do with the PNG? Well, first of all, let me show you that it is transparent by hovering it over all the rest of it. We can add a stroke like we did before. If we go up to color, you see if I click on it, nothing happens. This thing appears and then it gets rid of it. We don't want that. So I'll press close, Command Z. What we want to do is go to appearance. When I click on appearance, I click add fill, and now we select a color from it. Let's choose a blue one this time, like a light blue. And we can't see anything right now, but if we click and drag it underneath, now we have a background that we can continue to go back and change it as and when we need. Also, you can add it above and change the fill type as well. Play around with that, but we can just keep it on the bottom for now. So for this one, let's just make a style from this. So right click, create style, click it, and if we head on over to styles, you can see it is there. So let's grab a circle now and we'll click on it. There we go. And one thing to note, if you're wondering where these handles have gone, you have to go back to the fill tool. And if you still don't see them, especially when you've added an appearance fill, what you do is go up and click on the one with the shape in it. And you can see our handle is now back and you can still continue to play around with it. So that's how that works. I'm going to get rid of this for now. And I'm also going to make another iteration of this. And that is going to be without the fill. So I'm going to get rid of that, press delete, and I'll just right click, create style. And you can see we've got 3 styles there now. Remember, when you're creating these styles, you don't have to use boxes like I have. You can grab the pencil tool and draw something out like this. And you see it's kind of just working there. You can grab the pen tool as well. And there we go. Another note as well, just be mindful if you bring it up a lot like this and keep going, you can see it starts pixelating. So remember about the sizing when you export your PNG or JPEG. So up until this point, we've created a repeating pattern, the one that's on the bottom left, super simple, and we've created 3 styles from that. You can also create a lot more, but I guess the whole idea is to create a collection, something that you can refer back to. Say if you're working on a future project and you think, oh, I've got a pattern that would fit that, you could just refer back to your style packs and apply them. Super simple. So what I've done is I've added a few more that I've created just for this tutorial. Also have some elements that I created and stuck them in my assets pack so they're easy to go and grab, and I've created some patterns from these. So you can see it gets a little bit more complex sometimes. These are still simple ones, but instead of doing it the quick and easy way that we've been doing, it is worth having a template for repeating patterns, and that's something I talk about in my videos. The links will be in the description, and I'll just show you what I mean by that. So here you've only got 1, 2, and 3 objects, but they're just kind of repeating. In our simple one, we just had 1. It can get even more complex. So another one I've been working on, if I just go over to it, I've got some artboards here. This is my repeating pattern template. I won't go too in depth in case you watch my other video, but basically everything that happens on artboard 3, this one on the left, will be reflected in artboard 4. And artboard 4 is made up of squares. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So where this shape and this shape meet, there's a little line there. I could go ahead and grab a group of 2 here, and if I drag it around, you can see if it works on the seam. The seam is here. This is where one block meets the other one, and it does look like it's repeating nicely. So if I grab it, you'll just be able to see when I move it around, it does work. So if you do it the quick and easy way, you might make mistakes. So worth checking out the video. I've made a few more. So I'm going to export these to styles, and then we're going to go over to my other artboard and we're going to start filling these in and choosing a different style for maybe each letter and maybe the clouds in the background. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Before I export all of these to PNGs, I'm just going to delete the fill layer of all of them, as it allows me more customization later on. I can add my own stroke and I can add my own fill layer via the appearance panel, and then I can add them as styles, so I've got more flexibility. Okay, I'll skip the export section and I'll see you in a sec. So at this point, I'm just like adding the style in the appearance panel, adding the stroke, and what I did in this section, I just created a few circles. They were like that before. And then I go to the fill tool like we did before, solid, bitmap, and then I choose the image. Okay, I've finished choosing all the colors I like, so I'm just going to create a whole new category again, just to say it's complete. I'm going to rename it tutorial all. And from this point, I'm just going to select all of them and go over and add style from selection. And they're all in there, 14 styles. Okay, it's time to get creative and start adding these styles to all the shapes that we're seeing here. Okay, so I finished applying the styles to all the shapes I had here, just to see what they look like. And remember, if you don't like the color of one of them, you can go ahead and change it. So let's say this one here, it's not blue enough. I just tap on it, go up to my appearance panel, go to the fill, and choose a more saturated blue. Okay, so the next step would be to export the styles. So I'm happy with all of these. So I'm going to export them so I could maybe send them to somebody or use them later, stick it on a hard drive. So go over to Styles, go to the burger menu, and just click Export Styles. And I'll just click on Desktop, and you see it's .af styles is at the top there. You can just name it tutorial all, I'll call it, and press Save. And now it's on your desktop. So let's quickly go over the steps I've taken to create these pattern styles. So first of all, I created a pattern, a repeating pattern like up here. Then you'd go ahead and do it with a fill or without fill. I'd suggest without fill, and then export it to PNG. Remember, with JPEG, you can't change the background so easily. And once you've got PNG back in Affinity Designer, you create a shape like a square, click on the fill tool, choose type bitmap, and then from there you can start adding your own style from the appearance panel. Like up here, you can start adding your fill or any stroke, etc. And then once you've done that, you can go over to the styles and click on add style from selection, and then you can present it any way you want. Remember, you can add effects to all of these as well. So you go into effects and you can apply any of these to your pattern. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you found this tutorial useful. If you did, leave me a comment below, subscribe if you haven't already, and also let me know what kind of tutorials you'd like to see. All right, see you on the next one.